Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen.
I like to smoke early, check out how I do it. Blowing on the toilet in the bathroom, boo-boo. I'm high and feeling light while I wash my hands. I got a blunt hanging off my lip like an old granddad. Starting my teapot, my day's begun. I'm about to jump in the gym just to bust it down. Rolling up another one to ease my pain. Spumoni Kush hitting hard enough to dent your frame. Strolling through the garden in the midday mission. I wanna smoke this one and that one and oh yeah, this one. Smells got my nose hairs gigging today. Smoke fire out the front to leave and the whole thing is gone.
You know that I know that you know that I like to smoke. You know that I know that you know that I like to smoke. You know that I know that you know that I like to smoke. Yes, you know that I know that you know that I like to smoke. I like to smoke. I like to smoke. When we pull up in your town, get to burning it down. High grade sound, mendo dope. Yeah, I like to smoke. I love it. I like to smoke. When we pull up in your town, get to burning it down. High grade sound, mendo dope. When I wake up in the morning, I roll one. When I hit the studio, I roll one. When I walk into my garden, I roll one. Pull out the world's biggest backwood for the home run. Tonight we getting lit. Cannagar from Bud Smith. Temple ball of hash, Frenchy cannoli twist. Miss me with that other, your strain is looking hopeless. Green shock, we got that royal dopeness. Cannabis mixing up my doja. Terpenes, flavor and aroma. It's Croptober and I'm swimming in weed. I want the stickiest green and hella lemonine. Orange turpentine, I certainly will keep it in my personal stash. A 3rd degree burn. Pulling out the fire, I'ma break it down, roll it up, spark it with the lighter, I burn. Fresh jars I refill. Every day is like a smoke box with Be Real. Mendo, dope band, burning it down. So put your hands to the sky for the high grade sound and say, I like to smoke. I like to smoke. When we pull up in your town, get to burning it down. High grade sound, mendo, dope. You know that I know that you know that I like to smoke. You know that I know that you know that I like to smoke. You know that I like to smoke.
What's up, everybody? Good morning on this beautiful Tuesday.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Oh my God, we got the doors open in the studio, the windows, so that the air can blow through, and the temperature is just amazing. I'm gonna dab a little Raven's Revenge. What are you dabbing on, Zach?
I've got some, I believe, Fritterman over here.
Oh shit, you want to trade?
There's...
So I got some Raven's Revenge. What are y'all dabbing on? Don't forget to tag somebody there in the comments either. What are y'all dabbing on this morning? Yabba dabba do. I still haven't brought my carb cap.
Gotta love dabbing in.
So I made a carb cap. I poked a hole in this lid. Hey.
Oh yeah.
I mean, dude, I come from a generation where we made pipes out of toilet paper.
Oh yeah.
Roll,
Yep.
and
Soda
aluminum
cans.
foil, all kinds of stuff. I can make a carb cap out of a bottle lid.
I think my most interesting one was I got some bolts and washers and stuff like that. You know, screwed them all together and made a pipe out of that one time.
Yeah, you guys know what we're talking about. What have you guys made smoke devices out of? Ooh, Banana Mac. That sounds good. Oh, Jen's outside harvesting. Hey, you know what? We're going to be talking about what you're doing right now here a little bit. We also, I think, have been dropped off a few samples of what not to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll be talking about all that here in just a little bit. Don't forget to tag somebody down there. Please tag somebody in there and help, you know, because we want everybody to get some information on growing and all the good shit that goes on here. We like to see a bunch of people here, so just tag somebody in the comments down there. And I didn't announce this yesterday because I'm kind of don't mind keeping it small so that we can, you know, when people win, you know, the people get more of a chance to win.
Right. Oh man, I love dabbing in.
Oh,
that has so much flavor.
I miss it.
Yeah, I do too.
Like a motherfucker.
Oh, that felt good.
What you been doing? Zach hadn't been dabbing a lot lately.
No, I haven't.
Zach?
My consumptions went down quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, pussy. Okay. Yabba dabba do. And it's a smoke sesh, so I'm going to light a joint too. That rhyme. Hey, what's up?
Got to take a breather after that dab before I light the joint.
Jeremy McLaughlin, Jen Gall, Anna Schmidt, Craig Graham, Carlotta Vaughn, Marty Bolliard. What's up, Marty? Nancy.
Everybody enjoying this beautiful fall weather we got going on today.
I just can't get over it, man.
Oh, I know.
So
It's beautiful.
Can't get over this amazing weather. I, don't even want to be inside today.
I
So
know. We could do this outside. That'd be. Oh.
we could do this outside, but hey, I got some good. We got some good pre-rolls to give away. I didn't bring any here, but you don't need to see them. We got some good pre-rolls. We're going to give away a few of them, and different flavors, but you just have to wait and see what you get. And then I don't know, what am I going to give an ounce of away today?
And so many choices. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just kind of thinking right now what I can give an ounce away of. What do you guys see that I grow that you might want me to give you an ounce of? And if I have an ounce of it, let's see. So you guys know what I grow. What do you guys want? I've got right now. Oh my goodness!
You could almost choose from the different colors too.
Well, I think I got some purples. I think So, but I'm thinking something like sour diesel, or
and on the limer green side.
I got some jet fuel gelato that I wouldn't mind throwing out there, but it's a one run and done. But I did it 2 runs. But I didn't keep the clone. It's pretty nice. Hey, nobody wants indica. That's nobody.
Nobody. Let's see.
Anything purple. Blitzkrieg Kush. Damn it, Craig, I don't have any of that. But it's coming. Jen, I've got some Carl's Cake seeds I'm getting ready to plant and do F2 of that and bring that back. I'm going to be pheno hunting. So bee cookies. I do have bee cookies.
Oh, that'd be a...
Chris Charity, anything I grow, sour diesel is... Fuck, Brandon, sour diesel is bad. I got a really nice cut of sour diesel, and it's actually not just sour diesel. What I have is sour diesel, is actually sour diesel times animal mints.
That's right. I remember you telling me that.
Okay, but, I mean, it's fire.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had that around for coming on 12, 13 years now. And isn't that one of my older ones?
Yeah.
I had that when you came along.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had that when I moved over here where I'm at now.
Yeah, you definitely have had that since I've been around.
I've had it a while. Anyway, so we're going to do that at the end of the show. We don't really have any game plan. We just wanted to come on here and kick it with you guys and smoke some weed and say hey, see what's going on, talk about shit. Who knows what we're going to talk about? Might not even be all weed. But I do want to talk about harvest because, it's October 1st today.
Yeah.
A lot of you guys are getting ready for Halloween. A lot of you guys are getting ready for outdoor harvest, though. So, and outdoor harvest, there's a lot of questions I get on outdoor harvest. So I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit, throw some information out there. I got some bud here that this isn't outdoor, but I'm going to talk about it because this is what somebody came and dumped in my lap and said this is what our caregiver gave us. And so I want to talk to you guys about that because you guys know that the caregiver program's near and dear to my heart. That's what started all this.
Yeah.
Was caregiving, the medical side. And I sat down with a lady yesterday who came to me as a new patient. And we sat and talked. And she said, I had no idea I could get a caregiver. I've been going to dispensaries for the whole time, had no idea anything, never heard of a caregiver. I'm like,
right. Yeah, it's crazy how
she said,
hush.
I'm new to this. And so she wasn't around in the beginning when it was medical. She just got diagnosed with MS, and she wasn't around, so she didn't understand. And then a friend of hers from one of our shows or a post I made or some shit about finding a caregiver, he saw that and he told her, you need to get with this guy and get a caregiver. And you know what? If I don't have a spot, I have a network of quality caregivers that I can at least hook you up with someone. But I usually, I try to have a spot, but sometimes they fill up. But yeah, so I could definitely even still help. Or like we talked last week about the Green Angels Network. That's what they're all about. Go on there and post on there. But again, and we're going to talk about this right here, because just because somebody says they're a caregiver, I almost think you need references, okay?
Right.
Honestly, ask me for references. I'll put it out there and say, hey, do you mind being a reference? Do you mind, to my patients that I have? And that way I don't infringe on their right to privacy. But if they'll, I'm sure I have, I know I have 3 that if somebody says something on my post once in a while, they'll pipe in and talk about, me being their caregiver a little bit. But so I have references, and any good caregiver should be able to provide you with a reference or two about the quality and the consistency, because there's so many different things that you need to think about when you're looking for a caregiver. And do you even need one, or why do you need one? Those are all questions that should probably be on the forefront of your head. And finding a good one, knowing who to trust, you have to have references, okay? Because there's no monitoring system out there for people. And I do have a network of good quality caregivers that can vouch for one another and everything else. So if you're looking for one, I said all that to say this: don't be afraid to hit me up. I'll be glad to help guide you through that process of getting a caregiver, finding a quality caregiver. Even if you don't have a medical license, let's talk about why you need one. There are a lot of reasons that some people would need to maintain a medical license, and whatever questions you have, please feel free to hit me up personally. Shoot me a DM. I'll be glad to talk to you about it. But
it's something that's kind of getting forgot about too.
It is. Well, and that's what, rewind back to my story, that's what blew me away, dude.
So
she had never heard of it. Right. She had no idea. And I'm like, I'm not doing my job, man.
Right.
Okay. And I'm just not doing my job, because to me, everyone should know all their options when it comes to cannabis. Because, when you see my patients coming up to get their meds, they're limping.
Right.
It's obvious that my patients have health issues. Now, not all of them, it's obvious, but the majority, have health issues that they actually are using cannabis for a medicine.
Right.
They're not just out recreationally using it, So, but it just blows me away at how many of those people just still don't know that there's caregivers and that they can get a caregiver, and what are the benefits of having a caregiver.
Right.
How do you, but that's where I want to go deeper, and I kind of want to help mentor caregivers, because how do you become a caregiver? How do you become a good caregiver? A caregiver that can provide quality meds, clean quality meds.
Yeah.
What if you have a mildew issue late in bloom? What happens? Well, there's only 2 things. If you can either get it under control by natural processes, or you can chop your grow.
Yep.
How many grows you see me chop because I had to deal with some problem that I didn't want to have to spray it, and I couldn't either deal with the bug infestation or spray shit on it I didn't want people to ingest. How many times you see me choose to chop the fucking grow, dude?
A few times. We both had to do it a few times.
It's going to come. You're going to have those, and you have, as a caregiver, you have to account for the times that you're going to open your door and bugs are going to come in, and you're going to be busy and you're not going to spot it, and you're going to one day open your door and all your plants are going to be covered with aphids.
Right.
And I'm telling you, that shit happens overnight, people.
Yep.
You walk in your room and you're looking over your plants and you look over everything and everything looks beautiful. You walk out, you come back the next day and you see aphids on 70% of your plants, and now you're chasing. Now it's a battle. But that shit happens, man.
Or your cat sneaks down there, and a week later, and you got spider mites everywhere.
That happens. That happens. Or you use.
It was one of my first big issues I dealt with. Was a cat got down there, didn't realize it.
Yep.
Man.
Spider mites. I think I remember that.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the things also is like if you buy soil that's been setting outside, a lot of people don't understand that aphids will lay eggs in the soil
Yeah.
if it's outside. Now, if you're farming inside, aphids give live birth.
I'll do that.
I mean, they switch over. They're funny that way. Like out there, they'll lay eggs in the fall when it starts to get cold, so that next year the eggs will hatch and they'll have aphids, right? But inside, you never get that cold.
Right.
And while they lay eggs in the fall, they also give live birth in the summer.
Huh.
So during the summer months, they're giving live birth, and then they dump a bunch of eggs in the fall, and they all die from the cold. Well, inside, they're not laying eggs. So if you got an aphid in there, he can literally lay 100 eggs or give birth to 100 aphids overnight.
Oh, wow.
And if you got 4 or 5 of them in there, that's a lot of aphids to wake up to in the morning. You know, so there's just all kinds of things to be concerned about, you know, and so, you know, if you have any questions, you want to understand about caregiving or anything like that, hit me up, because I want to keep that, you know, on the forefront of the cannabis scene, you know, being a caregiver, because having a quality caregiver is very important, because if you do have health issues, smoking mildew or smoking chemicals that's been sprayed on your bud or anything like that could be, you know, a bad thing for you. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. I talk a lot, don't I?
Well, back to what you were saying earlier about the season and everything. It's really, really hard to believe we're already October 1st. I mean, it feels like April was just a week ago almost. I mean, this summer went by real
It did.
Or real quick.
It's been cool, though. I mean,
Dude,
I got to spend a week in Hawaii. That was so amazing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I really...
Those pictures were beautiful.
And you know what I said before I went? I was like, yeah, you know, it'll be cool, but this is for Brenda.
Right?
You know,
I do remember you
cool,
saying that.
You know, and then I got there and I'm just like, oh my God, this is like, if there's a heaven on earth, this is it. You know what I mean?
They don't call it paradise for no reason.
That was cool, you know, and you know, I've taken, well, more than this summer. I started last year around May or June. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be about me for a while. And I just kind of stepped back, and when I say I'm going to be about me for a while, I mean I'm going to work on me, you know. And so I've just been being quiet, taking care of my patients, growing my herb, you know, dealing with life on the level, and working on me. And now, you know, I've had a really good summer, man. It's been really chill. Everything's gone really well, and you know, I mean, I hope everybody had a great summer.
Yeah.
You gonna smoke that big fat fucking joint right there?
I'm about to light it up.
Oh, this is gonna be good. So anyway, been a good summer, dude. What'd you do all summer? We haven't been around each other.
No, we actually
most of the summer, because Zach's been selling insurance, believe it or not.
I went back to work. I work for a life insurance company, and I've been definitely putting some hours in there. So.
Yep. So he's breaking free to do the show, but we haven't seen a whole lot of each other this summer. What'd you do other than work?
Work, ate, and slept about. That's about it this summer.
Working out a little bit.
Yeah, I did working out when I can there, but yeah, I mean, spent time with the family. Got to see Wyatt for about 2 weeks this summer, so
it's been a good year.
Yeah, it has, but. Haven't had
distractions.
Yes, there are plenty of them.
Well, when my wife texts me, I usually look at it at least to see if she needs
Make
an
sure
answer.
It's not an emergency.
So anyway, everybody, it's a cool year. We're coming to the end of it. Harvest time's upon us. Jen up there, she said, "Hey, I'm outside harvesting right now."
Right.
What are you harvesting right now, hon? I'm curious to know, because to me it's very early.
Yeah.
To harvest still. But if you have a real heavy indica, that sometimes they come down early, but the trichomes will fool you outside.
Will they?
Yeah, the trichomes will fool you, because bugs get on them and walk on them and stuff.
Right.
And if you have a damaged trichome, it'll start to amber. So, you know, the trichomes can fool you. To me, in the Midwest, the only thing I'm watching for harvest time is the first hard freeze.
Right, not frost, but
Not
hard
frost,
freeze.
because I can go if you don't have monsters and your plants aren't just out somewhere. If you're doing a controlled grow like is legal in the state, you're going to have plants that are manageable, and you can go cover them up with plastic.
Right.
If you're going to get a freeze. Is that ideal? Maybe not. But if you can take them a few days longer or a week or two longer because of that, then set yourself up some little, hoops to try to keep the plastic off the plant, and cover the plant with plastic if it's going to frost.
Right.
And that way, that'll give you a few more, because I'm looking to let that plant go as far into winter as I can. As far into it as I can without it getting too cold.
Every day counts when it comes to outdoor grow.
But, if you're going to get down and you're going to hit, I'm going to say if you're going to get down to where it's in the 40s, and I said hard freeze a minute ago, but honestly, if you're going to get down where at night you're going to be below 30 degrees,
right,
or into the 30s, like below 40 degrees, I might be really inclined to just harvest.
Right.
Because
especially if it's a regular.
Yeah. But I try to. I'm going to want to take it as far as I can. Autos or photos, or it doesn't matter. I don't like autos, but if you do, cool. Good thing about autos is you can get multiple crops in, multiple harvests throughout the summer. Photos, when you're growing outside, if you're not using blackout curtains in a greenhouse, then you can only get one crop. So
right, one run a year.
Yeah. So if you do autos, more power to you. I personally haven't found any autos that it's just not my thing. I don't have anything against it or anything, but I've smoked some autos that were pretty good. I just like to have a little more control over what I'm doing with the plant, and I like to grow from clones, and you can't clone autos.
Right.
What's up, Chuck? What's going on, brother?
Well, you could clone autos, but it would still flower with this plant.
Yeah, you can clone. So I like to have, because you can plant 10 cannabis seeds and get 10 different phenotypes out of those seeds.
Yep.
Okay, you're not gonna get the same as what the plant came from, as the plant it came from, unless you run across that pheno. So just because you buy blueberry seeds, or just because you buy purple kush seeds, doesn't mean you're going to get purple kush that's like the seed. Even if you get it out of that bud, there's no guarantee that door's going to slam. There's no guarantee that you're going to get.
It got a little darker.
Yeah, it did. And I look a little oranger.
Distractions.
What can I say? There's no guarantee you're going to get the same plant that you took that seed from. So you have to pheno hunt.
Right.
So I don't like growing from seeds. I grow from seeds when I do a pheno hunt. Right. But ultimately, I'm looking for something that I can carry on through the process of cloning.
Yes.
Okay. And so autos don't fit that mode for me. So I prefer photos. Boy, that's a long way to answer that question, wasn't it?
That was.
So outdoor, though.
She said the last of the lavenberry, it's a lavender pheno. The green pheno I had to have approximately 3 weeks ago. So I'm assuming she means she had to harvest 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay, cool. Right on.
That's where that whole
Oh,
thing
that was Jen.
Yes,
I didn't know who you were talking about.
Okay.
You're just reading. You didn't say it was Jen. Okay, cool. So, V, what's my shirt say? TVP, Till Valhalla Project. Prevent suicide. It's a suicide prevention they help veterans, 20 to 30 veterans a day commit suicide. And so I support their organization, and it's Till Valhalla Project. To help counsel veterans going through hard times, to help honor them if they've chosen to move on to the other realm. It helped to help honor them so their legacy lives on, and help their family deal with the crisis. They help supply service dogs to veterans suffering from PTSD and stuff like that. So that's what it is, Chad. Thanks for asking, man.
Okay,
But
so she said in 3 weeks she's going to harvest the green feed.
in 3 weeks, right on. Yeah, hopefully 3 weeks. I think we'll get 3 weeks out. I'd like to see us get into November, early November, without any
Right.
hard freezes. But again, I'm not against putting some thin painter's plastic
Oh, yeah.
over
yeah.
the top of the plants just to wrap them up for the night. Put some stakes around it.
Right, so it's not
So that
collapsing on it.
it's not collapsing on the plant, and then wrap the plant, keep the frost off of it, and let it go a couple more weeks. Of course, if it starts to look sad, harvest it.
Right.
But
Couldn't you also use like blankets and stuff too? I've heard of people using blankets.
I don't.
Oh, I've heard of
maybe.
people using blankets to cover like tomato plants.
Oh yeah, I mean maybe. I guess you could experiment with it. Go cover it up.
Right.
Give it a heated comforter.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
There you
whatever-
go.
whatever.
Heated comforter.
Yeah, man. You let it get it snuggle, man. You go out there and nut the butt it, man. And
There you
keep
go.
it warm if you want something. I don't know. Whatever you
Oh,
got to
wow.
do to get through. To take it as far as you can, so it's as mature as it possibly can be before you harvest it.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to say. And also think about it too. The more you let it go into some colder air, the less bugs are going to be on it when you harvest it, because the bugs are going to go and they're going to seek warmer areas, and then they're going to die and they're not going to be on your plant. So you have less bugs on your plant. But I think maybe next week we might talk a little bit about washing your outdoor plants and why you wash the outdoor plants and the purpose for it, how to do it, what to use, all that stuff. So, that might be something. I think maybe for a couple of weeks we might start talking about washing or talking about, particulars about outdoor harvest. But right now, the thing is when.
Right.
When do you want to harvest, okay? Trichomes are going to lie to you. Most in the area we're in right here in Missouri, most of your harvest is going to have to take place late October, early November, if you can stretch it through. And if you're going to grow outdoors, I'm going to recommend building a hoop house so you can start your plants out there in like February, and then you can supplement the light so that they stay in veg, and then in the late fall you can cover them up with plastic, and it'll help keep them warm. You can take the harvest a lot further that way. Anyway, or the crop, you can take the crop a lot further if you have a hoop house that you can cover with plastic and keep the frost and the outdoor off of them. So that's all something you guys think about, and I think that's some stuff we need to talk about moving forward and give a little bit more intricate information.
Right.
So because we want to harvest quality stuff that's mature as possible, so that we get good quality stuff. And I'm gonna, so this right here. This is do we have a close-up camera?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Go ahead and bring up that close-up.
This is grown indoors, and I'm just shifting gears here, I know, because my mind works that way. I'll be talking about one thing, and then all of a sudden it's just like boom, downshift, cut the wheel, I'm on a different road. So here I am. So can you get it, dude? Bring it in on it.
It gets blurry. We get in on it.
Oh, what a crappy camera.
Yeah, it's a webcam.
Oh man. So anyway, we don't have our little. But anyway, you see
Actually,
this.
here, turn off
It
that
really-
camera.
Huh?
There we go. All right, I'm going to bring it up to the camera.
Yeah, it really doesn't look horrible, I don't think. The trim job isn't the greatest, okay, but that's okay. I've been known to leave leaves on mine also.
Still doesn't quite do it yet.
There's absolutely hardly any trichomes on this at all, and it smells like grass. Okay, and the thing is the questions that were asked to the grower and the answers that were given is that these all went 48 days.
48.
How long was that? 48 days. That's not even 8 weeks. It's like
No.
7 weeks. Okay? 7 weeks in bloom. All three of these. And I don't even need to.
6.8 weeks.
6.8 weeks. Okay. 6.8 weeks. This is why we need education in this state. Everybody, look, I sat and listened a couple years ago. I sat and listened to everybody. We're done with the education. We don't need education. We want good times. And I'm like, but you know what? What about the people coming behind us? So this is not a person who's not capable, because, I mean, from the looks of it, he had a good thing going here.
Yeah, he was on a
He
road.
just chopped it at 6.5 weeks because he didn't understand how to tell when a plant was ready to be harvested.
Right.
Okay, he didn't have the right guidance, and maybe he wouldn't listen, but maybe he would. Maybe he just didn't have the access to that. But I find it hard to believe that you don't have access to the knowledge that you need.
Right. I mean, I remember my first grow like 15 years ago in a little closet. I want to say that's about what I harvested, but that was, really you had to dig to find any information online 15 years ago when it came to growing. It wasn't as accessible as it is now, where, I mean, you go into Google and you've got 100 sites that are going to tell you, there was only a handful of sites that would even give you that kind of information 15 years ago.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, how today is and how much knowledge is out there now.
Oh yeah, I mean, you just Google it; it's all over the place. Back in the day when I was first getting on the forums, and I was going to breedbay.uk. And you had to go to a European forum, opengrow.uk. It was everything was a European forum. Then you had to prove yourself for a while before you could really get into the back rooms of the forum where the real conversation was going on, because it was illegal.
Right.
Now there's so much information out there, you basically had to have somebody take you under their wing. Now this poor guy here, this is what got delivered to them as ounces from their caregiver, and I would assume they were paid for, and this is unsmokable. Yeah. I mean, you could smoke it, but you're not going to get anything off of it.
If you do, with it being that young, it'd be very quick.
The cannabinoids in there are probably not even cannabinoids yet.
Right.
I mean, you've got young trichomes with chemical compounds in there that have not matured.
Right.
To the point to where they're ready. Ted, that's a good question. Okay. And that's actually, I was talking earlier about that new patient that came out, and that she had never known about caregiving. And one of the things she asked me about was why the dispensary cannabis makes her heart race and makes her kind of paranoid and stuff like that. So we talked about harvest times, okay? And quite simply, to make a long story short, dude, people chop their harvest early because they get in a pickle and they need the weed or they need the money, and they don't understand that it doesn't make sense. So this guy's going to lose a complete client base because, and if he sold it to the wrong person might go, just kick the shit out of him. I've seen it happen,
And when you harvest early, you're not just losing weight, you're losing quality.
Yeah, and
all
you just, but but honestly, they probably don't mean to do anything snaky. It's just a desperate thing, that they come in and they're like, oh my God, I got bills to pay. And if I don't pay my electric bill, it's going to get shut off. And I got these plants, and I know they're supposed to go 9 weeks, but man, they got to be okay at 6.5 weeks. So they chop it, and then they harvest it, and that's what you have. And you have weed that it just smells like grass because there's no terpenes that have been really developed or matured yet. The flavonoids aren't matured. The cannabinoids haven't matured, and the trichomes. Quite frankly, it's all in the trichome.
And another big reason for that could happen is not keeping proper records. I know, taking notes of when you flip that plant.
He knew he chopped it at 6.5 weeks, brother. So.
Right. I'm just saying I've actually
it can happen on accident.
Yeah, I've made that mistake, and I've had to guesstimate. Now, granted, I know through you, I've learned how to read the plant and all that stuff. So when I don't have that nota when I flipped it, I've got a rough ballpark, but I can tell on the plant when it's ready to harvest.
Yeah. And that's just comes from experience and and quite frankly some good mentorship, you know. Hold on, do I cure my bud, Rich? Yes, I do cure my bud. I actually, that's another thing I was going to talk about, you know, this smelling like hay harvest, you know. He probably dried it really fast. He probably could have got a little better smell out of it and not smell so much like hay if he would have dried it a little better. And one of the things I find that people take probably, it gets missed. It's one of the most overlooked missed areas of growing your own cannabis, and is the drying process. Okay, they don't take into consideration the drying and curing process, and so they build a grow room. They've got great grow lights. They've got filtration system. They got clean air. You know, they're using the top of the line soil, doing all their stuff, and that they're supposed to do, and they grow an amazing product, and they harvest it, and then they dry it in their garage. Right. Or they throw it in the next room in a closet somewhere and shut the door and let it dry. And usually what you're going to have happen, unless you've got high humidity, is it's going to dry out in 3 or 4 days. It's going to be grassy. It's not, the terpenes are going to evaporate because it's going to have low humidity, high heat, stuff like that. You know, so having your environment in your drying room is just as important as having your grow room set up. So if you're growing in a tent, my advice is that you harvest, and then you take the tent and you set the atmosphere in the tent to be proper for drying. Okay, and then you dry in the tent because it's a confined area. You need to dry. Now, when I dry, I keep my temperatures in my room around 65. I don't freak out if they get up to 70, but I'd like to keep them as close to 65 as possible. So between 65 and 70 in my temperature. My humidity, most of the time I run my humidity at about 58% in my drying room. And sometimes I'll go in there and I'll turn it up to 60 if I feel like it's drying too fast. Because what I want is I want my bud to be dried. I want my stems on my plants, when I bend them, I want to hear a snap. They don't have to break in half, but when I bend them, I want to hear a nice crisp snap. The thicker branches. Yeah. Not the little thin ones, the thicker branches. I want to hear a nice crisp snap when I bend the branch. When I get that crisp snap, then the plant's ready to be chopped off of the stalks and trimmed. Yeah. So, and then from there, quite honestly, I go into growth bags, and I burp them for a couple days once or twice, and then they go into growth bags, and they just go into storage in a cool place that I run about 60 degrees all the time in my storage area. I keep it about 60 degrees, and it's all in a closet in the dark where, it's stored properly. So that's the biggest thing, that's the biggest thing you have to do. Ted, I wish I could cure 3 to 6 months, but, my patience, I've found that, I just can't keep it around that long. Right. I mean, I can't keep it around. It's gone before then. So I try to do, a good long proper dry, and then that brings some curing into it, and then another 2 weeks to a month to cure, depending on the variety and, how your temperature and humidities are where you're curing and what you're curing. If you're doing the jars, you got to go through the whole burping process and all that. The grove bags, you don't have to. Right. You don't go through the burping process with the grove. If you're doing multiple plants, mason jars gets to be a headache because you end up having a lot of mason jars and having to burp a lot of mason jars. Yeah. I went through that transition where my plant count got up more,
and I was harvesting more at one time. And at one point, I think I had like 25 or 30 of those mason jars, and every day I was having to go through and
And it
burn.
really sucks when you drop one.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
So, but no, the grow bags they're really the way that I like to go, because now I will say this: I do not use humidity packs.
Right.
Maybe if it gets way too dry and you need to bring some humidity back to it, then yes, put some humidity packs in there. If you dry it way out, okay, it's no different than putting orange peel or wet cotton or whatever back in it to bring moisture back into the bud at that point. But to me, for some reason, I know if you put them in there when the product's still kind of young, I feel like it doesn't do justice for the terpenes. You know, the humidity packs. I don't like them. If you don't need them, don't use them.
Right.
Okay. If it gets too dry and you need them, then use them. And that's good. What do we got here? Burping, does that mean just, yes, just open it, pop, close it back up, you're good.
Yeah, I usually will kind of give it a little bit of a shake before I open it up.
I want to answer this, Brandon.
Yeah.
He says he's been drying around 75. So here's the thing, okay? 75 isn't a bad temperature. I do think it causes the plant to dry a little faster than what I like. But the problem that I have with 75 is that at that temperature, you're kind of creating an environment where mildew or mold can thrive. So you probably want to bring that temperature down to just under 70 degrees. So that you don't have a conditions where mold would be able to grow in the dried bud, because that's never good. I remember that happened to me once. I had, evidently there was a little bit on the plant that I missed during trimming years ago back. It's one of the things that taught me to be more vigilant while I'm trimming. But I used to trim everything and then put it in the drying racks, because I didn't have the space to just hang it out and dry it.
Right.
So I put it in the drying racks and hung it in the closet. And no temperature control, but it got really humid in the closet and everything. And man, I went in there like 3 days after it being in there, opened the door up and looking at it, and everything was just covered with powdery mildew.
Shit.
So yeah, I think that one of the things that I pay close attention to is the temperature and humidity.
Yeah.
I actually have a humidifier in my grow room, and I have it set to come on at 55, so that if my humidity drops below 55, the humidifier comes on. And then I have a dehumidifier that kicks on at 60. So if the humidifier gets above 60, if the humidity gets above 60, the dehumidifier kicks on, and it keeps that balance between 55 and 60% humidity. And then, of course, the air conditioner is set to 68 degrees.
And you have one other component in there that does help a lot too, is just circulating air, circulating air around.
Not strong circulation, just enough to keep the air moving through everything and to help
keep a consistent humidity and temperature throughout the whole room.
So yeah, so maybe that'll be something that we go through a lot during the here when we get closer and it's time to harvest. And most, if you're growing outside, you're going to have a pretty good space to harvest if you've got big, or to dry and hang if you've got big plants. So we'll definitely talk about that. Cure bags as good as grow bags. Rich, I wish I could answer that question, but I don't have any experience with the cure bags. Orange peel with a damp paper towel. Oh, dude. Oh my God. Yeah, orange peel. Yeah, I switched from orange peel to a wet cotton pad, because I just figured all I'm doing is putting moisture back in, but I didn't do it with brickweed. Fuck, I hated that stuff.
Trying to add some flavor to it.
Bro, I got a bad lung infection from smoking brickweed.
Oh, really?
And that's when I set out to never smoke brickweed again.
You know what time I'm thinking it's for, though?
It's getting time for the wheel, people.
Yes, it is.
Flower, what are your temps? Jeremy, that's a good question, man. I have my high temp set at 90. So my fans, if it gets above 90, my fans kick on. And my low temp is going to be set right about 68 because I don't want to get much lower than 68. So my fans will, my heaters and everything will come on at 68
And
to
that's
keep it
something-
up above 70 because you get much below 68 degrees and your plants start, drawing back on their vigor.
Right.
They don't grow as vigorous.
And that's something with the time of year we're getting ready to go into, will be a concern.
Yes.
During the summer, you don't really have to worry about that, your room getting that cold. But during the winter, the chances of that happening, I always bring some heaters, some oil heaters out with a fan behind it on a temperature control.
Yeah.
Because I know my basement does get a little chillier.
I like the little infrared boxes, space heaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I generally use in my grow is a little infrared space heater if I need it.
Okay.
And then I set that. You can buy a little temperature switch, but most of the infrared heaters have their own.
Right.
And I just keep the air movement in your grow so that you keep the air movement in the grow so that the environment stays steady all over the whole room. So,
right.
But yeah, so we're gonna. Okay, so we got some pre-rolls to give away.
Yeah.
And then we've got an ounce of, what am I going to give away?
I saw a lot of sour diesel.
Yeah, I think I'll have to do the sour diesel.
Okay.
I'll give away the larf.
Right.
That's already been turned into oil or something. So anyway, okay, so you know what? We're going to give some shit away if you guys are okay. And I'm going to get some other stuff in here. We got a bunch of stuff in storage that we're going to drag out. Some little baby grinders and some trays, rolling trays with the magnet on top, and some of them came from the industry. A lot of it came when we were doing the evening show and our sponsors and stuff like that. And so we've got some stuff like that we're going to give away here in the near future, but we're always going to give away cannabis because as long as they'll let us, and I hate, that pains me to say that, but as long as I won't get in trouble and gifting is free, I will continue to give cannabis away on this show. And rosin. I'm going to smash some rosin off here one of these days, and I'll give that away. I got a bunch of fresh frozen sitting in my freezer waiting to be washed off into hash. So just got to find the time to do it. That's all. So we're going to give away some pre-rolls. I'm thinking, I'm trying to think of what I can, who knows. I'll probably do some fritter mint.
Ooh.
I'll probably do some sour diesel pre-rolls. You know what? Let's just make it a sour diesel day.
Okay, sour diesel day.
Or, whatever you get, you'll be happy with, I'm sure. So
anyway,
I'm going to give away 5 pre-rolls.
Nice.
Let's do 5 pre-rolls, Jeremy.
So give us 5 spins.
Not all at once.
Right.
All right. Let's see what we got. Where's all the music? Patrick Perez. All right, Patrick. Got a pre-roll for you, brother. Are you here? I know he was earlier.
Yeah, I saw him earlier.
Joe Rose. Are you here, Joe? Throw us a comment. There he is. All right, Joe.
All
That's
right.
2.
That's 2. We got 3 more.
Jeremy, my man, what's up, brother? You got a pre-roll.
We got next. Nick. Oh, right there on the line. Who is it?
Tamara.
Tamara.
All right. Hey, Tamara, for those of you who don't know, Tamara was one of my Grow Coach clients. That's the last one, people.
Oh,
Nathan Snively. Are you here, Nathan? If so, chime in, brother. All right, all of you guys that won the pre-roll, go shoot us a private message at on our page. Go to our page, like our page, shoot us a private message, and we'll get you a pre-roll however we need to. I'll send Superman with a cape flying to your front door. It's true. I'm talking to him, man. He might have a big nappy beard,
Right.
but he'll wear a cape. I think I
All
can talk
right.
him into wearing a cape.
Right.
Okay, so what's next?
We got the ounce of sour D.
Okay.
Unless you don't want to do that next. Unless you got something else.
Well, I don't know that everybody wants seeds. That's the big thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Why don't we did seeds last week. Why don't we do seeds next week then?
Yeah, we can do that. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and do an ounce of sour diesel right now. Who's the big winner? Who's the big winner?
Boy.
Oh, boy. Nancy Perez. Rick Zerbe. We will check into that.
Yep.
Which post did you like and how long ago? Because we do shut off like 15 minutes before the show. We stop taking names. So, Nancy, hit me up, girl. I got you.
Yep.
Okay. Nancy's the big winner.
Yep.
That's cool. Nancy's old school top shelf.
Been with us since the
Nancy
start.
goes all the way back. So does Patrick, her son. And
Now, I saw
nobody's not on the wheel either.
How you get on the wheel is that follow our page, and either the night before or the morning of, there'll be a post about our smoke sesh. You go and make a comment, share it with a friend on there. Let us know that you're.
Yeah, there's a whole. I wrote out on the post how there's a whole list of the way you do it. You like the page, you like the post, you share the post, and you comment in the comment section. Done.
Yep.
And that lets us know to go check your name to make sure that you've gotten it all in there. And
right.
then, come on, because we're giving away some really killer shit here, man.
Yeah.
Who wants to win some of this? That's sour D I'm going to do the pre-rolls with.
Wow.
Not really. So, you know what, everybody? It's been cool. I'm going to try to give more information. I meant to make a post Friday about the show today, but I forgot.
Right.
I mean, it happens. I'm in no ways perfect. So, but I'll try.
There you go.
Just know I'm trying. And it's from the heart, And so let's plan on next week diving a little bit more into, harvesting and things like that. Let's talk about probably different ways to harvest.
Okay.
And I want to talk about washing.
Oh, there we go. That's a
washing
deep subject there.
Your outdoor harvest to cleanse it, baptizing it.
There you go.
We're going to baptize your bud. Anyway, you know what, everybody? It's been really cool. Appreciate it. Time to dab out.
Oh yes.
Yabba dabba do.
I'm gonna take a dab. How about you?
Yep. And then you got a Zoom to do.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be stoned.
Oh,
Get a big dab, dude. Don't even play.
They already know.
Don't even play. I know they do.
There's a couple of them watching.
That's all right. That's all right. See, if they're watching out there, now you can see why he's all mentally fucked up. Because he runs around with me.
Yeah. Oh, man.
You ain't seen the rest of our friends.
Right. We got Sasquatch in the back.
What? Why you want to throw him under the bus?
Oh, man. All right. Good shit.
Woo! I want to get the Trailer Park Boys on here.
Oh, that would be a fun one.
Sam Squanch. Oh, my God. You know what, everybody? It's been really fun.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week. We'll have some more kick-ass giveaways. Nancy, I got a zip for you. So hit me up when you want to come get it. And I'll be there for you. So we good, man?
Yeah, we good.
All right, everybody. See you next week. Peace out. Stay lifted.
Later.
We on that next level. Turn it up a notch. Way I smoke, I need another crop. Yeah, I'm on that next level. We got that global dope. The type of resin make you overload. Yeah, I got that next level. They try to imitate. They can't keep up, I'm about to elevate. Yeah, we on that next level. I'm in a different lane. I'm always smoking and spitting flame. Yeah, I got that next level. No, you cannot fade my style. Way I'm going, way up north, smell that dank for miles. Check my resume.
Year-round Garden is your one-stop shop for all your indoor gardening needs. It doesn't matter what you grow or how you grow it, our knowledgeable, friendly staff is here to help. Our team listens to your unique story, interests, values, personal experience, and helps develop solutions that are right for your garden. Whether it's tomatoes, herbs, microgreens, mushrooms, medicinal plants, houseplants, you name it. So come visit us today and experience a different kind of grow shop. A grow shop for everyone.
It feels right. Drop the anchor down, we'll be here for a while. Got me thinking about all the good times coming our way. Oh yeah. Ooh, put it on.